Imagine, late at night, under torrential rain, you flag down a taxi, but when you glance in the rearview mirror, shadowy figures stare back with empty, hollow eyes. And the driver's smile stretches unnaturally wide, revealing sharp, yellowed teeth. Tonight, a real horror that will make you never hail a cab again. Ever. The story, Taxi Not Home. At end of the story, we're telling 1 month of this taxi came down suddenly, like it always does, in late October. Heavy, relentless drops, slashing the asphalt, turning it into a black, glistening mirror, where streetlights trembled and neon signs glowed like dying embers. I stood under the bar's awning, the centaur, wrapping myself in my thin, useless fall coat against the raw, bone-chilling wind. What an idiot. Should have dressed warmer. Saw the forecast that morning. The last patrons left half an hour ago, leaving behind the stench of beer, tobacco, and cheap, rancid cologne. I wiped the tables, stacked the chairs, counted the cash under tired bartender Vasili's eye. Now, work done. Exhaustion crashed over me, that thick, dragging fatigue from 12 grueling hours on my feet. "Go on, Yule. Why are you sticking around?" Vasily said, locking the door with a heavy clank. "Your guy's meeting you. Look at that downpour." "He was supposed to," I muttered, pulling out my phone. The screen stayed black, no matter how hard I pressed. Damn, battery died after lunch. Forgot to charge it in the rush. Now, can't call, can't order a cab. Andre's message came earlier. "Urgent trip to St. Petersburg, 3 days. Can't pick you up. Call a taxi. I'll send money. Kisses." Warm words, but now, almost midnight, pouring rain, deserted street on the city's edge. Home, 40 minutes away. Buses? Once an hour, if they even run. I sighed, pulled up my collar, stepped out from under shelter. Cold rain attacked instantly, soaking my hair, trickling down my neck. I marched toward the bus stop. Street empty, only rare cars, splashing filthy water. Then, like an answer to my silent plea, a yellow shape appeared, far off, moving slow, deliberate, like hunting. On the roof, flickering red letters. Taxi. Relief flooded me. Without thinking, I raised my hand, jumped to the road's edge. Headlights blinded me, but the car glided up, stopped, old wipers scraping the glass with a slow screech. The door creaked open, dull, ominous. "Good evening, little beauty. Get in, or you'll soak through. Where to?" I dove inside, slamming the door. The interior hit me with warm, stale air, reeking of smoke, sweat, and something sweet rotten, like an old forgotten basement. But whatever, it's warm, dry. This old heap will get me home. Oh God, the weather's a nightmare. Thank you, you saved me. Builders Street, number 45, third entrance, please. The driver nodded, shifting gears. The ancient yellow Volga rolled forward smoothly. In the dim dash light, I saw him. Squat, stocky, about 50, thick black mustache, hair graying at temples. Fat fingers gleamed with heavy rings. He turned to check behind. Gold crowns flashed in his teeth. The smile, wide, almost too welcoming. "Not many out in this weather," he said, eyes back on the road. "You work nearby?" "Yeah, the bar," I answered shortly, trying not to breathe too deeply. The smell, thick, clinging like a second skin. He shook his head. "Hard work. Drunks probably harass you." "Sometimes." I stared out the window, at familiar streets blurring past. Rain turned the world into smeared watercolor. Lights stretched into yellow streaks. Shop windows bled into colored blobs. "Don't fear, girl. I'll get you there fast. The car veered off the main road toward my neighborhood, but through unfamiliar, dark alleys. Nerves hit immediately. We're going the wrong way. Traffic at night, repairs, he waved casually. I know a shortcut, don't worry. I nodded, but dread, deep inside, stirred. Minutes passed before I calmed myself. Fatigue, nerves, darkness, playing tricks. I looked out again. The view, wrong. Buildings losing sharpness, edges blurred, like seen through murky water or fogged glass. The familiar supermarket, shrouded in mist. Its bright sign, dim, like a fading star. Cold? Beauty? I can crank the heat, the driver said. No, fine, I replied, goosebumps racing. Not from cold. I glanced at him. He swayed slightly with the car's motion. Fat fingers tapped the wheel. Then, silence. Not just quiet, absolute. Even his noisy breathing vanished. The cabin, a void, so deep my ears rang. Only wind howling outside, tires hissing on wet road. Unthinkingly, I looked in the rearview mirror and froze. In the glass, shadowy forms, blurred like flickering shadows from a dying flame. They sat, still, staring ahead, but I felt their gaze, heavy, pressing on me. Icy terror locked my body. Slowly, I turned. Rear seat, empty. Just my bag, beside me. Heart pounding, I looked back in the mirror. They were there, clearer now, impossibly close, almost touching, but in reality, nothing. One's neck twisted unnaturally. Another wept, hands over face. The third stared directly at me, eye sockets, empty voids. Comfortable? The driver asked suddenly, voice too close, like whispered right in my ear. I jolted, pressing against the door. What? Yeah, fine. Good. We're almost there. But we weren't. Minutes stretched into impossible hours. Road lost all landmarks. Buildings flashed by, but not my cities. Grim, gray structures with hollow window eyes. Crooked roofs piercing low leaden sky. On roadsides, figures stood, motionless, facing us. I felt their unseen eyes, tracking, crawling over my skin. Where are we? My voice, thin, alien. On the road, beauty. Where else? He didn't look in the mirror anymore. Face, stone, stripped of fake friendliness. I want out. Stop, please. Can't stop here, beauty. Can't. Nights full of evil people. Dangerous to wander alone. Smile frozen, like a painted mask. Stop now, I screamed, grabbing the handle. It wouldn't budge, welded shut. The driver slowly turned his head, only the head at an impossible angle. Neck cracked, loud as snapping bone. That sound echoed in my skull, shrinking me into the seat. Shut up. Sit still, he growled, all kindness gone. Almost there. I backed away, panic rising, sharp, uncontrollable. Eyes closed, trying to focus. Okay, Yulia, breathe. Just breathe. This is a nightmare from exhaustion, but the cold seat piercing through clothes, the growing smell of decay, everything horrifyingly real. This wasn't kidnapping. This was something else. Wrong. Unnatural. My gaze dropped to his feet, or what should have been feet. Instead, dark, bristly fur. At the ends, hard, black, split hooves. Pressing pedals, not metal clink, but dull, bony thud. I blinked, stared again. No hallucination. Real. Damn hooves. The world flipped, crushed into pinpoint horror. Blurry city, mirror shadows, endless road, all snapped into one monstrous truth. Not a taxi, a trap. Not a quirky driver, a demon in a cage. Icy realization hammered my chest, stealing breath. Mind raced to goat-like hooves, nightmare images, grandma's old tales, of evil spirits lurking on the world's edges, snatching lost souls. Taxi to nowhere, picks up the careless, drives them until they break. Those mirror shadows, souls he tormented to death. Then memory flashed, bright as lightning. Grandma's voice, clear from childhood, from her remote village, knowing every sign, every charm, every story of things beyond humans. Over evening tea, she said, "Remember, Yulenka, evil is dangerous, but sometimes foolish. Lives outside our time. If it clings, won't let go, say, 'Come yesterday.' Confuses the unclean. They can't stand the tangle. They flee, bewildered." At 10, I laughed, imagining demons scratching heads. Yesterday? How? Now those words, my only lifeline in an icy sea of despair. The car sped down a straight, arrow-like road into pure black void. Sides, barren wasteland, crooked bare trees, like giant skeletons. The driver spoke again, voice slipping back to almost human, but sticky, unhealthy sweet. "Like riding with me, beauty? We could meet, sometimes. I'd drive you anywhere, beautiful places. What do you say, huh?" He turned, fully, vertebrae creaking horribly. Neck stretched, unnaturally long, bulging veins. Smile, snarl-like, stretched to the ears, revealing not gold, but rows of small, sharp, yellow, fish-like teeth. Face changed, skin too smooth, white, taut as parchment. Eyes, tiny, deep-set, glowing dull yellow, like a night predator. Vision swam, nausea surged. Last shred of control, fists clenched, nails digging into palms. Sharp pain, real, rallied will. I sat up, stared straight into those yellow eyes, and said clearly, deliberately, exactly as Grandma taught, "Come, yesterday." Effect, immediate. The demon's smile slid off, like melting wax. Features twisted in wild, furious astonishment. Head jerked, another loud crack. "What? What did you say?" Cheeks burned, adrenaline flooded. Louder, bolder, face contorted, lost all human shape, skin darkened, cracked, wrinkled, mustache shriveled into bristles, eyes blazed hellish crimson, a roar, full of rabid rage, windows shaking violently. The Volga engine screamed, lurched forward, force slamming me back. World outside smeared into dark streaks. Car swerved wildly, road twisting, looping into alien dimensions. Cabin reeked of sulfur and char. Rear shadows stirred, thrashed, extending shapeless tendrils toward me, but hesitating, afraid. The driver, barely human now, clutched the wheel with long, bony fingers, filthy claws, muttering, cursing in a tongueless language. I huddled, chanting silently like a mantra, "Come yesterday, come yesterday," terrified that if I stopped, the barrier would shatter. Sudden, piercing shriek of brakes, car spun violently, seatbelt I hadn't noticed, crushed me in place. Silence. We stood at the exact same stop where I got in. Rain still drizzled, under the same streetlight. The Centaur sign visible 20 meters away. Passenger door clicked open, dull. No thought. Instinct hurled me out onto wet asphalt. I didn't look back, didn't check my bag. I ran, faster than ever, cold air burning lungs, heart pounding to explode. Only 100 meters away, tripping on the curb, nearly falling. I dared glance back. Street, empty. No yellow Volga, no tire marks on the wet road. Just rain, whispering on roofs, and one lone dog cowering in the alley. Staggering, I reached home. Keys shook so badly, third try to unlock. Inside, bolted every lock, chained the door, propped a heavy chair against it, turned on every single light, curled in the corner of the divan, blanket over my head, body trembled, unstoppable, until dawn. No sleep, listening to every sound, creaking floor, water in pipes. Every noise felt like yellow headlights flashing outside, red neon glowing. Taxi, but nothing came. Morning, pale pink sunlight, trembling finally eased. Looked out the window, street alive, normal. Cars, people rushing to work. 3 days later, Andre returned. I clung to him, sobbing, spilling the incoherent tale of Taxi, rain, Hooves. He listened, stroked my hair, said it was just a nightmare, hallucinations from overwork, convinced me to see a doctor, take mild sedatives. Memories faded, slowly. I tried hard, convincing myself, delusion. Rationalize, darkness, fatigue, stress, old car with strange pedals. Fear retreated, to vague unease, then just anxiety. I needed that. Paranoia had been choking me like a scratchy scarf. But now, I avoid walking in the dark, call cabs rarely, and only through the app. And sometimes, late at night, when rain taps the window, I still hear that creaking door and a hoarse voice calling, "Get in, beauty." Tonight, we heard Yulia's terrifying ride in a taxi from hell, where shadows watched and the driver showed his true, demonic face. What would you do, trapped in that nightmare? Write your own scariest story in the comments below, and yours might become the next video. Subscribe, like, turn on notifications, so the horror never misses you.